Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name's Ryan. I buy and resell stuff from thrift stores, garage sales, and flea markets and such, and try to make a few extra bucks online. I live stream in the mornings sometimes and post the videos later. So folks have an opportunity to just a new thing I'm trying to see if get some engagement. Anyway, this morning gonna do a couple things. Go over some sales I had and do a little bit of an instructional on one of the things I do to make money on lower priced books. So and let y'all and so you can see kind of how I turn things around, and it's something that anybody can do, and I don't think it's gonna kill the market or anything by showing you this one secret to make money. So anyway, that's what we'll do. But first we'll go off of what's sold so far. I'm going to the thrift store later and to do some listening, so I don't have anything currently to throw up, say, hey, this is what I'm going to sell, because I didn't go to the thrift store yesterday. So, anyway, here we go. First up is a couple of Poshmark sales. I did Poshmark as an alternative listing. It's easy to do, and I don't have a ton to do it, so sometimes it's a may as well. Pair of Ariat women's shoes, steel toe, clogs. If these were like a men's design, I'd actually probably keep them because they're slip-on. Ariat, and these only went for $10 plus shipping. So I was a little surprised at that for such a good brand, because I wear Ariat boots sometimes. They're really comfortable, good brand, and just this one thing just didn't do, and I've had them almost a year, I guess. So it was glad to see them out the door and have that go off of probably the end lost money because of relisting fees and stuff of what that was costing me on eBay too. So glad to see those go out the door. Next, this was a $5 plus shipping item. Buy for my wife, and plus I figured I could probably resell it. It's one of those long hoodie, women's hoodie dresses or whatever. It's just a long hoodie. Went for $5 plus shipping. There's no brand on it. It's just the style kind of sold. So glad to again another one. Glad to see it out because it taking up room and costing things and all that sort of stuff. So glad to see that go out the way. Okay, next up, eBay sales. Is this all books? I think today is an all book day on eBay. Come on, yes, all books. Okay, start off. I think this was one I pulled out of my 10-cent sale. The John G. Lake sermons. Don't exactly know who John G. Lake is, but it's a sermon booklet. So I think this came out of this is Pentecostal. So I found when I was going through, I had a local buyer who was doing a bulk buy of giant bins, and she was pulling out for the easy Amazon sales. Well, Kate scanned that. And I was pulling out a lot of, it was almost like a couple of pastors. I think there was one that was Southern Baptist, it seemed, and one that was Pentecostal. It may have been the same guy with all that stuff. And I was pulling out for 10 cents a piece. Stuff like this, thin stuff, pamphlets and flyers and books and theology stuff, and everything that I saw that didn't have a barcode on it that was religious related, I was pulling out, and I'm talking like small tracts, and I still have a few, not many. I think I've sold almost all of them, but those things were selling like crazy. These were tracts from the 60s and 70s, small booklets. Back then, a Pentecostal preacher, sometimes Southern Baptist preacher would do this. Those are the two denominations I really saw this happening. They would print their sermons in booklets. Now that's actually a tradition that goes back years and years and years, because we've got all I've got books full of sermons that go back, Puritan times. So that is so I was pulling bundles of these. So if you're in a situation where you see a lot of that stuff, at minimum you can bundle it for a few bucks a piece. But sometimes you find some wacky stuff. Like I sold something that had like something to do with aliens and communist conspiracies, and getting a chunk of money for it. So, and I could go off on the theological and historical ramifications of it, because that's what I do sometimes. That's not that I'm interested in it, but I know that stuff. So anyway, anyway, $8. That went for 8. I think I started at like 15 or 17, and was still slowly drawing it down. But $8, so $3-4 profit on that. Next up is, we'll go here because this was an overnight sale. I got this at the thrift store last week. I don't think it was Monday. I think last week, Friday or Wednesday of last week. Twilight graphic novel. This was selling for, and this went for $10. And I had a lecture. I think I was talking about how I was seeing a couple of sales of this in the $5 to $6 range, but that was from the big sellers who weren't putting good pictures up. So this is a story of, like, if you got a book, even that sometimes that's popular, that the big sellers have, and they're selling in the $4, $5, $6 range because they have a discount on shipping more than we do, and they can make money at that. But sometimes you put a real picture up of a book in good condition, and you got something. So $10 on that one. Cost me $1, I think. So that's going to be decent profit there. Next up, we're bundling things now. So, and I'm going to use it's not the biggest profit, but it's the best story later. So, this one. These are sort of like choose your own adventure books. Zork. I was surprised this one wasn't worth as much. Zork, Which Way books, Curse of the Sunken Treasure, and Fantasy Forest, The Ring, the Sword, and the Unicorn. These are all choose your own adventure style books written around the same time the originals were. These lotted up for $11 for these 3. Picked them up at no more than 50 cents a piece. Adventure lots up well. I have another lot for sale, but sometimes the more off-brand ones. And what would have done better is if I had like 3 in this series. That would have done that I was sold, and there's some particularly there's a series by TSR that's for a little bit more mature reader that I've sold $20-$30 books, so worth thinking about. Next up is lost my train of thought. All right, next up is we're gonna go with this lot, C.S. Lewis. 2 Grief Observed, Screwtape Letters, Joyful Christian, and Mere Christianity. This lot went for $11. Probably paid $1 a piece on these, but C.S. Lewis non-Narnia books sell pretty well as lots. So that was $4, $8. I may have made a couple bucks on this lot. So. But I've had success selling them. So you just got to kind of find that price point, and I'll discuss this, that you can buy them at so that you make money. So, 4 C.S. Lewis books. And finally, this is the one that the lesson's about today, is another batch of Who HQ books. And this batch went for, this is 10 books, went for $13. And I checked my profit. I probably spent 50 cents a piece on them, and so that's $5 in. I think I just about doubled my money on this batch. Now, so what the plan is here is that I may have been able. Now that was on the best offer, and I wonder if I couldn't. That was an automatic setting, and I wonder if I couldn't have gotten into a couple more bucks as well for that set. But what the plan is you have to find the price point for a series book that you can lot up, like these Who Is books, and find the price point you can buy them at. Usually it's less than 50 cents. And do a good descriptive lot on them, and you can put them up and make a few bucks. There are some that you can do $2 to $3 a book. There are some that you need to have like either the whole series or a run that there's no breaks in it, like books 1 through 5, books 8 through 20 or something, where somebody doesn't have to go searching to fill the holes in. Selling books to fill holes doesn't work, at least in my experience. Some folks make it do okay, but there's some series out there that it doesn't work. There are some series, like Childcraft, that you need the whole series to sell it. You can't sell it with a break. There's been a couple times where I've found almost a whole series, bought a book to fill it in, and sold the rest of it. Or been able to sell the whole thing because I filled a hole. So that's something else to think about. And so, but this is how you can sell $2 to $3 books on eBay or on Facebook, is not through individually selling them, because the books really are only worth $2 to $3 a piece. And the only guys who can make money are some of the bigger, massive bulk booksellers who have these large discounted postal rates. So we're not going to be able to compete with that. And I don't want to, because I don't want that kind of volume. But you can take something like this, lot it up properly, $2 to $3 a book, or just double what you paid for it. And sometimes. And put it up and it sells. And you can turn 50 cents into $2. But you're doing it in a big lot. So really you're turning $5 into 10 or 15. And these sold quick. I actually had a lot that was up for sale for a while, but I modded it, let the 30-day rollover happen, and when it kind of relisted, some of this stuff resold. So that's how I make that work. I'm gonna have to edit this because of the phone call, I think. But other than that, that's everything right now. And hopefully I'll catch you on the flip side. Like, comment, subscribe. Join me in the mornings. And we can, if you've got questions, or concerns, or trying to figure things out, we're happy to help. So have a good day. Y'all be good.